3, 2, 1. Let's start. Which of the following is not a quadratic equation? So look carefully. Yeah, so the answer is B. Congrats, Farisha, Alia, and Taufik for the top 3. So now question 2. The equation x minus 2 squared plus 1 equals to 2x minus 3 is a linear equation, B, quadratic equation, C, cubic equation, and D, biquadratic equation. So you can take out your pen and your paper to write out and try the question to see which of the following is the equation there. I'll give you a tip. You need to expand it. Yeah, so the answer is B. We have 8% who get it correct. Congrats. Wow, Farisha is still the top and Alia the second. Adam, Bill, and Mina. Congrats. So now, question 3. The quadratic equation whose roots are 1 and negative 1 over 2. So yeah, look carefully at the plus and minus sign there. And yeah, use your calculator, okay? The plus sign, negative sign will get different answers. So look carefully at the plus and negative sign, yeah? So yeah, the answer is B. We have 5% get it correct. Congrats. Oh, Alia come to the top and Farisha get the second now. Adam is the third, Zira is the fourth. Come up now and Bill the fifth. Now question 4. The polynomial equation x times x plus 1 plus 8 equals to x plus 2 times x minus 2 is linear equation, quadratic equation, cubic equation, biquadratic equation. So the same, the hint is expand the equation. Oh, we only have 3% get it correct. The answer is A. So yeah, Alia is still the top, Farisha second, Adam third, Zira fourth, Shera comes up. Congrats. Now we are halfway. Question 5. The sum of the root of the quadratic equation is, so the equation is 3x squared minus 9x plus 5 equals to 0. So look at the words there, sum of the roots, SOR. Remember back on the equation to get SOR? And how do you get SOR from the equation there? Directly. Oh, so we have 6% get it correct. Congrats. The answer is 3. So Alia is still the top. Congrats. And Farisha and Adam. Then Sarah and Bills come up again. Number 6, solve it. So we have the question there, 3x minus 6 times negative x plus 3 equals to 0. So I need to get the x and determine which one is the lesser x, which one is the greater x. Look carefully at the sign there, the negative sign and the positive sign. Look carefully there. Yeah, so the answer is the green, x1 equals to 2, x2 equals to 3. We have 3% get it correct. Congrats, Alia, still the top. And Bill come up, Farisha the third, Adam fourth, Shera fifth. Now question 7. The number of mosquitoes in Brooklyn in millions of mosquitoes as a function of rainfall in centimeters is model B. So we have the function equation there, mx equals to negative x times x minus 4. So what is the maximum possible number of mosquitoes? You are given longer time for this, you need to calculate it. So get your pen and your paper and your calculator. Yeah, do slowly as long as it is correct. We have 1 more minute, do slowly. We have 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer is 4. Wow, we get 8 people get it correct. Congrats. Wow, Farisha, come back now. The top. Alia the second, Adam third, Bill fourth, Zira fifth. Congrats. Now question 8. Solve for x. With the equation there, x squared equals to 24 minus 10x. Try to form the quadratic equation and get the x there. You have two ways to do it. You can expand it or just press it using the calculator. Look carefully at the negative and positive sign there. Look really carefully for that. So yeah, we have 6 students get it correct. Congrats. So the answer is x equals to 2, x equals to negative 12. Wow, Zira come up the third now. Farisha still the top. Alia in the second. Zira third. Adam fourth. Sarah come back. Okay, nice. Now we're almost to the end. Now question 9. Solve it. You are given a diagram there. A rancher has 1,200 meters of fence to enclose a rectangular corral with another fence dividing it in the middle as in the diagram below. As indicated in the diagram, the 4 horizontal sections of fence will each be x meters long, and the 3 vertical sections will each be y meters long. The rancher's goal is to use all the fence and enclose the largest possible area. There's so many keywords there. Look carefully. So the x meters will be the long and the y will be the vertical long, the vertical height. The perimeter of the fence, including the middle one, is 1,200 meters. You have almost 2 more minutes left. Do carefully, calculate carefully, and look carefully for all the keywords in there. You need to get the largest possible area. A hint for you, you can form the area using the x and y as an equation. Use all the information up there to form equations. Oh, okay. So all of you have finished the question. So only 2 students get it correct. Never mind, we'll discuss this one later on. Wow, congrats Alia, you get the top now. Farisha the second, Zira third, Adam fourth, Sarah fifth. Congrats you all. Now we are heading to the last question. The last question also a hot question. So look carefully on the question there. A ball is thrown straight up from 3 meters above the ground with a velocity of 40 meters per second. When does it hit the ground? The tips for you, you might need some physics equations. This one is quite a tough question. So if you don't know how to answer, it's okay. But try to do it. You have 2 more minutes left. The tips for you, you might need the physics equation, which is to calculate the distance. Displacement, sorry. We have 1 more minute left. Yeah, so the answer is out. We have 3 students get it right. So T will be 1.4 seconds with the height equals to 12.8 meters. So now let us see who will be the top 3. So Active Learning Week 2, we have Shera as the 3rd place and Farisha as the 2nd place, and the top will be Alia. Congrats! And we have Zira and Adam as the runner-up for 4th and 5th. Congrats, students! Congrats. Wow. So all top 3 is from group 5. Congrats, group 5. Congrats, guys. Okay, so now let us discuss on the solutions for all the 10 questions. So we start with the first question, which is, which of the following is not a quadratic equation? So you are given 4 quadratic equations. Yeah, so the answer is B, since there is a degree 3. So the B is x squared plus x cubed plus 2. Sorry, yeah, the 3 looks like a bit cacat, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so it's x squared plus x cubed plus 2. Since there's a cube there, so it's not a quadratic equation. The biggest power for the quadratic equation is power 2. So for the second question, the equation x minus 2 squared plus 1 equals to 2x minus 3 is a what equation? So firstly, you need to expand the equation because you are not sure if there's bigger power for the power 2. So you try to expand it, and you expand it, you calculate for the number and you group for x squared and for x and for the number, and you form the general quadratic equation, which is x squared minus 6x plus x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals to 0, which is a quadratic equation because the highest power is 2. So the answer will be B. So from the first 2 questions, is there any problem? Students, is there any problem?
No.
Okay, thank you. So we proceed, yeah? So the third question now is the quadratic equation whose roots are 1 and negative 1 over 2. So you need to form the general the quadratic equation. So there's 4 answer there, A, B, and C, and D. Look carefully for the sign there. So by using the quadratic equation, general quadratic equation, which is x squared minus 1 over 2x plus 1 times negative 1 over 2 equals to 0. Then you will get 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals to 0. And actually you can directly form the equation before expanding from the roots there. Then after you form the 2 bracket there, then you expand it, you will get the same answer, 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals to 0. So is there any problem? Is there any problem, students?
No.
Okay, thank you. So we proceed with question 4. The polynomial equation x times x plus 1 plus 8 equals to x plus 2 times x minus 2 is, again, to choose which of the following is the equation types there. So also the same. First, you expand it. You expand the x plus 1. You expand the x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then you put all the variable and the number to the left hand side to get right hand side equals to 0. Then you will form x plus 12 equals to 0, which is a linear equation because the biggest power of x is equals to 1. So it is a linear equation. Okay, so moving on to question 5. The sum of the roots of the quadratic equation is 3x squared minus 9x plus 5 equals to 0. We are giving 4 sections there for you to choose. So first, we all know that the general equation for quadratic equation is ax squared minus bx plus c equals to 0. And now we know that a will be 3, b will be negative 9, c will be equals to 5. So the sum of root is actually negative b over a. So the answer will be negative 9. Remember the negative sign, yeah? Negative 9. So negative 9 over 3 equals to 3. This is the simple equation for sum of root. Okay, so is there any problem?
No.
Okay, thank you. So we proceed with question 6. 3x minus 6 times negative 3 plus negative x plus 3 equals to 0. So you can either directly get the answer there by using 3x minus 6 equals to 0 and negative x plus 3 equals to 0 and get the 2x there. Or you can expand it, get the general quadratic equation and press the calculator, and you will get the same answer for x1 equals to 2, x2 equals to 3. So now question 7. The number of mosquitoes in Brooklyn as a function of rainfall is modeled by mx equals to negative x times x minus 4. So what is the biggest possible number for mosquitoes? So you are given a quadratic function there, mx equals to negative x times x minus 4. To get this, you assume that mx is equals to 0. Then you will get negative x equals to 0, which also means x equals to 0, and x minus 4 equals to 0, which you will get x equals to 0, x equals to 4. Now, because it is a quadratic function there, you are going to use the quadratic graph A and get the symmetry number there. So 0 plus 4 divided by 2, you get 2. So your x will be 2. You substitute back the x will be negative x and negative 2 times 2 minus 4, and it will be m in the power of m in the power of x equals to 2 will be 4. So the maximum possible number of mosquitoes will be 4. Is there any problem for this question?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now proceed question 8. So question 8 is also easy. It says solve for x. For x squared equals to 24 minus 10x. So also the same, you move all the variable and numbers to the left hand side to get the right hand side equals to 0. And this will be the general form. It's already in the general form of quadratic equation for x squared plus 10x minus 24 equals to 0. So now you will know a equals to 1, b equals to 10, c equals to negative 24. So you are using the formula negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. The equation will be given in your exam in the formula list there. Just substitute all the value for a, b, and c into the formula and you solve it. And you'll get x equals to 2, x equal to negative 12 for the roots. Remember to double check your calculation when you do it in your exam because you might press wrongly in the calculator. So Remember to double check your answer. So is there any problem for this question?
No.
Okay, thank you. So we proceed with question 9. So question 9 is one of the hot question. A rancher has 1,200 meters of fence to enclose a rectangular corral with another fence dividing it in the middle, as in diagram below. As indicated in the diagram, the 4 horizontal sections of fence will be X meters long and the 3 vertical sections will be Y meters long. So the rancher's goal is to use all the fence and enclose the largest possible area. You are given many information in this problem. So first, you know the rancher's the length of the fence will be 1,200 meters in total. And you know that the horizontal length will be X meters and the vertical length will be Y meters. And there will be 4 horizontal length and 3 vertical length. So first you form the area A equal to 2xy. This is the area for rectangular. 2x times 1y equals to the area. So this will be your first equation you form. So now the second one, you know that 4 horizontal length will be x, so 4x, and 3 vertical section will be your y, so 3y. And you know the total of the length will be 1,200 meters. So you form another equation, the second equation for 3y plus 4x equals to 1,200. Now you try to get one of the variable because you want to substitute it back into the area there. So in this case, you can use x or either x or y, but in this case we use y. So form y equals to 400 minus 4x over 3. You just divide the whole equation by 3 and you eliminate the 3 in front of y. So after you get the y, you substitute back into the area equation you form. 2xy equals to a. So a equal to 2xy equals to 2x 4 times 400 minus 4 over x, 4x over 3, the y you formed before. Then you assume now the a to be 0 because you want to find out what is the x number there. So now it's also the same. 2x equals to 0. 400 minus 4x over 3 equals to 0. Also, you can expand it too and calculate it using calculator to get your x. This is that is another way. But in this case, we can use 2x equals to 0 and x will be 0 because 0 over 2 will be 0. And 400 minus 4x over 3, you want to get the x to the right hand side so that you can make the solution there for x equals to something. So you move the negative 4x over 3 to the right hand side and get the over 3, get the whole equation times 3 to get rid of the over 3 there, and you get 4x equals to 1,200. Then divide by 4, you will get x equals to 300. So your x will be x equals to 0, x equals to 300. So same with the equation number 7, the mosquito question. You get the line of the symmetry of the graph A, which is equals to 150 because 300 plus 0 divided by 2, you get 150. So your x will be 150 meters, 150 meters. So to get your y, you just substitute back the x you get into the equation you formed just now. Y equals to 400 minus 4x over 3. Then you will get y equals to 200 meters, x equals to 150 meters. So is there any problem for this question? You can check back your equation. You can check back your answers to see if it is correct. You substitute x and y back to the 3y plus 4x equals to 1000, 1200, and see if these two values of x and y will get you 1200. So is there any problem for this question? Students?
No.
No, huh? Okay, now we proceed to the last question. So last question, a ball is thrown straight up from 3 meters above the ground with a velocity of 14 meters per second. When does it hit the ground? So in this problem, I just hinted you just now that you need to use some physics equation. So you can see from here, h, you can form an equation here. H equals to 3. 3 will be 3 meters above the ground. You can see from the graph there, 3 will be the y-intercept. So 3 plus 14t, 14 will be your velocity, and negative 5t squared. Then you'll be confused like, where can I get the negative 5? So I hinted you just now that you need to use the displacement equation from physics. So displacement will be s equals to negative 1 over 2 at squared. S equal to 1 over 2 at squared, where the s is the displacement. So the a will be your gravity value, which is 9.8. In this case, we just simplify, we just round off to 10. So negative 1 over 2, 10t squared. 10 divided by 2 will be 5. So you'll get negative 5t squared. So the equation you form will be h equals to 3 for the y-intercept, 3 meters above the ground, plus 14t, where the 14 will be your velocity, minus 5t squared. The 5 will be your displacement. Then after you form this, you try to, before this, after you form the equation, you assume h equals to 0 because you want to find the t there. So after this, you want to form the general quadratic equation. So you rearrange it to get 5t squared to the front. 5t squared minus 14t minus 3 equals to 0. Then after this, you try to get it separate, or you can just directly press the calculator and you form 5t plus 1 times t minus 3 equals to 0. So after this, you'll get t equals to negative 0.2. Look carefully at the negative and positive sign, and t equals to 3 from the equation you formed above. So t, you can see there, t equals to negative b over 2a, which will be equals to negative 14. Remember the negative sign in front of 14. Negative 14 over 2 times 5. 2 times 5, 5 is the a, and we get 14 over 10, which is 1.4 seconds. And for h is equals to negative 5t square. Negative 5t square plus 14t plus 3 from the top above the first equation you formed there equals to, you just substitute in the t you get from the front part, 1.4. Is it okay, students? So we'll get the highest point is 12.8 meters by substitute the t values in there. Is it okay, students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this will be the end of our Kahoot session. And now we have a pop quiz for you all. So now students, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end. So congrats, Mira, for the be the first. So Mira get 3 out of 4 correct and get the top one. Mira second, also 3 out of 4. Alia third, 3 out of 4. Taufik fourth, get 2 out of 4. And Adam fifth, 2 out of 4. Congrats, guys. So now we look at the solution here for the pop quiz. So for the first question, express the quadratic equation 2 plus 3x over x minus 4 plus 2 minus 3 times 2x plus 1 in general form. So the keyword here is general form. So first, you can see this equation is quite complex now. So first, you need to eliminate the denominator x minus 4. How do you eliminate that one? You multiply the whole equation with x minus 4. So you will get 2 plus 3x plus 2 times x minus 4 equals to, you multiply the 3 into the 2x plus 1, you get 6x plus 3 times x minus 4. Then you expand the equation 2 plus 3x plus 2x minus 8. 2 multiplies into the x, 2 multiplies into the 4 equals to 6x squared minus 21x minus 12. Just expand the equation above and you rearrange it. Move all the variable and the number to the left hand side and form the right hand side to be 0. So after you move everything, you will get 6x squared minus 26x minus 6 equals to 0. And from here, you will see that it is not in the simplest form. We need to form the simplest form for the quadratic equation. So you divide the equation by 2 and you will get 3x squared minus 13x minus 3 equals to 0. Okay, is there any problem, students?
No.
Okay, no, thank you. Yeah, from the comment here, Shahira say, oh, okay, you lose internet connection. It's okay, it's okay. So for question 2, Solve the quadratic equation 2x times x minus 3 equals to 2 minus x times x plus 1. Set your answer correct to 4 significant figures. So also the same, the equation is not in general quadratic equation. You expand the equation, 2x times into the x minus 3 and 2 minus x times with x plus 1, and you will form 2x squared minus 6x minus equals to x plus 2 minus x squared. Look carefully at the negative sign and positive sign when you expand it, and you will form general quadratic equation of 3x squared minus 7x minus 2 equals to 0. Then from here, you know that your A will be 3, your B will be negative 7, and your C will be negative 2. Remember the negative sign for your B and C. Remember the negative sign. If you lost the negative sign, the value of your answer will be completely different. So you are using the equation to find your x. This equation will be given in your exam too. Don't worry, you no need to memorize it. X equals to negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So you just substitute all the value of a, b, and c into the formula, and you will get two answers for x. One is for b plus square root b squared minus 4ac. Another one is for b minus b squared minus 4ac. So you have 7 plus 8.544 over 6, and another one is 7 minus 8.544 over 6. And you'll get two answers here. X equals to 2.591 and x equals to negative 0.2573. Remember, the question asks for 4 significant figures. So you can only show 4 significant figures. The rest you need to run off to the 4 significant figures. Okay, so for this question, you can also solve it using another method, which is completing the square. It's the same. First, you need to expand and form your equation into general quadratic equation. In this case, is 3x squared minus 7x equals to 2. Y equals to 2, you move your value for your C to the right hand side. Then you make your A, the 3 there, you eliminate your A to make your A equals to 1. This is the first rule for the completing the square. You need to get your A equals to 1. So when you do this, your B will be negative 7 over 3, and your C will be 2 over 3 at the right hand side. Now next, you'll do the completing the square, where you get the middle value there, 7 over 3. You get 7 over 3 divide by 2, and you make it square. Then another side, you make it the same. 7 over 3 over 2, make it square. Why do you make the square for both sides? Because you cannot just simply square it in the equation for one side only. You need to balance the two sides. So in this case, even though you cancel out the 7 over 3 divided by 2 square, for both sides, it is still equals to the equation above you form. So you need to make the middle b here, 7 over 3, divide by 2, square for both sides. Okay, until here. Then we just solve 7 over 3 over 2, and you will get 7 over 6 for both sides. Then from the front part here, x squared minus 7 over 3x plus 7 over 6 squared. In this case, you can form a two bracket of variable, which is the same. When you expand it, it will equals to the value up there. You just copy the value for the square you get
into the bracket here. X minus 7 over 3 bracket together and make it square. This is like a skip steps for you to do that. You don't need to calculate for the value in front here to form this equation and form the variable square here. So you make x minus 7 over 6 square equals to, you times together the value behind 2 over 3 plus 7 over 6 square. You get the number 73 over 36. Then when you do until here, you just want to eliminate the square because you want to get the x here. So when you eliminate the square, you move the square to the right hand side, it will become square root. And when you square root it, you have plus and minus sign in front of the square root. Because when you square for either positive or negative value, it will come out positive. So you need to consider the positive and negative sign. So when you solve this one, you get x equals to 2.591 and x equals to negative 0.2573, which is the same using the formula negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So you choose which one you understand better and use that formula. So is there any question for this question?
No.
Okay, thank you. So now the third question, solve the quadratic equation for 2x squared plus 3x equals to 5 using factorization. So using factorization, firstly, also the same, you need to form the general quadratic equation, which is 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals to 0. After you form this, you need to factor out and form two brackets here. This is called factorization, equals to 0. Now, one of the way you can solve it by using pressing the calculator. After you press the calculator, and you'll get x equals to negative 5 over 2 and x equals to 1. From here, you can form back the two brackets there. So first, your x equals to negative 5 over 2. You move your negative 2 to the left-hand side will be 2x. And your negative 5, when you move to left-hand side, will be plus 5. So you get 2x plus 5. And another bracket, because your x will be 1, so x equals to 1. When you move the 1 to the side with the x, will be x minus 1. Then you form the factorization for this equation. So is there any problem for this question?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now the last question. Show that x equals to 3 is a root to the quadratic equation x plus 1 times x plus 2 equals to 5 times 3x minus 5. It is also the same. You need to expand it first. After expand it, and you form the general quadratic equation. So from here, you expand and you form general quadratic equation of x squared minus 12x. There's an x behind the 12 plus 27 equals to 0. And after this, you can factor out, or you can just press the calculator and you'll get x equals to 9, x equals to 3. So its statement says that show that x equals to 3 is a root. Then after you solve it and you get that x equals to 9, x equals to 3, so one of the root is x equals to 3. Hence, the root is x equals to 3. You prove that this 3 is one of the root. So is there any problem?
No.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we come to the end of our active learning. So the answer, the slide for the solution, we will send it to the group in WhatsApp later on.